Now, as we were saying, Chili's baby back rib. Where's the falsetto, Sam? We're just Muppets.
Chili's the baby back ribs.
Oh, jeez, man. The Wright Brothers. Hey guys. Welcome.
Yo, what up? It's your boy Tommy D and SA Sam back here with another episode of The Wright Brothers. And
No, Wright Brothers.
Hey, you shut up.
I'm sorry.
Alright, today we are joined by a not so special guest.
No one else other than...
No one. We are joined by no one.
Literally. Just a fucking air would be better than
Yeah,
you.
literally an empty chair would be more entertaining.
Joined by Dead Air.
Today we are joined by this empty picture frame.
But we are actually joined by my real life brother.
Yeah.
Sam.
Yeah. How you doing? How you doing, Sam?
I'm good, Garrett. How are you?
Who the hell is Garret?
Wait, where the fuck is Thomas?
Alright, quit beating around the bush.
Alright.
This is Garrett.
This is Garrett.
Hello.
He is my actual brother.
Yeah, this is the first time we're actually going to have Wright Brothers
I
on the
know.
Wright Brothers.
So I think it's only appropriate that I write nothing then.
That's
It's
not how this works.
isn't that like PEMDAS? Doesn't it cancel out or something?
So it's just me on this episode?
Alright, take it away, buddy. You got
You're just like reading. It's like, oh, this is such a great story. You just
it. Yeah, great story, Sam. Thanks, Sam. Appreciate it, buddy.
I like jump around and get on the chairs.
They're like,
So it's like
they're like,
pan
Sam,
down.
they can't see you. And you're like, shut up, man, I'm busy.
you're keeping all the sounds of you just running back and forth.
Okay, that's enough.
All right.
of that.
All right, so we're here tonight. We just had Panda Express,
Yeah.
as we usually do before these videos.
Yeah, so you know where to find us.
Yeah.
Well, the script.
It's really cute that you would like even pretend that you would have the willpower to write a script for this.
Dude, what if we did script all of this?
Oh my god.
That would
that'd be
make it
such a
so
pain.
much less fun.
It
Yeah.
really would, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we got drinks today, and I convinced these boys to try.
We are hammered right now.
Oh yeah, yeah, dude. Woo.
I am of age. Can't you tell by my deep voice that I am over?
yeah. Can't you tell by my deep voice?
No, because me trying to do a deep voice just makes my voice crack even worse. Like, I'm a master of the opposite of disguise, whatever that would be. A master of transparency. Is that...
Yeah.
All right.
So we got drinks, and I finally convinced these boys to try
Kombucha.
which I have had before, and I love it. And if you've not heard of it, I think we mentioned it before. It's got live bacteria cultures in it.
Yeah.
So there's like living creatures in the bottom.
So
of
what
it.
Sam is saying, he likes to eat bacteria.
Yeah,
Because I normally just like scrape bacteria off the bottom of like a pond or something. So like I feel like this is cutting out the middleman.
It really is. Dude, it's already bottled.
I know. Like I don't even have to like cup it or anything.
Dude, you guys can share.
You want the bottle of the cup?
I
That's fizzing.
don't
Wow.
want.
Yeah, it'll fizz.
Oh, God.
So before
So
you
what am I supposed to do?
so before you take a sip, I should add we have Brew Doctor brand, and we have the flavor lemon ginger cayenne. And I have not had this one before. I've had a lot of them, but I've not had
Wait,
this
ginger?
No, this is my.
Oh god, get her away.
No, Thomas, that's not cool, dude.
one.
Same
Ooh,
as
that's-
ginger.
That's not okay.
So one thing I'd like to say, because this is what my friend told me before I ever tried kombucha. He said the way it tastes is the best word to describe it is just invigorating. Like it's not particularly the best. You start
guys
to like it
prepare
after a
get
while.
Invigorated.
It is truly invigorating.
So am I gonna have like a seizure when I drink this? Or
Well,
what?
we're gonna see, aren't we?
Well, you have a seizure when you drink anything.
Well, yeah, water is like really intense, dude. Leave me alone.
It's
Why
water.
Are you
Why are you
peeling, the,
peeling
why are
off
you
the-
peeling the label off?
Because I don't like it.
Okay.
Well, I don't like you.
Well,
So you,
are you guys?
you're
Are
gonna
you
do
boys
peel
ready?
me?
Thomas,
Hang
you're
on.
holding. Oh my god.
Hang on.
He's
Hang on.
peeling off the label for some reason, but the thing's gonna be all sticky then, right?
That's the way I like it.
It's harder to drop that way.
Yeah, I know. It's like,
I can just let my fingers go and it sticks to my hand.
just
Honestly, you guys are stupid for
oh
not
my god, so
doing
you need
this.
to edit in. Like, I say that and then you edit in like a shattering glass.
Guys, check this out. Could you like go any slower?
Alright, you guys ready?
All right. Cheers, boys.
Boat and zip.
What the hell is that?
What?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of yeasty a little bit.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah.
It's pretty sharp. It's like pretty bitter.
Yeah, bitter is the word I was gonna try and find.
I can taste the cayenne actually.
I
What
can
is
taste the
cayenne?
I think
bacteria?
it's like a pepper, right? Cayenne peppers? Dude, cayenne pepper is usually a moderately hot chili pepper used to flavor dishes. Now, I don't know if this is the same thing or not, but
Yeah, I can really taste that.
yeah. Yeah, so what do you guys think?
I don't know why I would ever want to drink this, but
It's really good for your gut and
Oh, is that
digestion,
it?
apparently. That's like the big thing about it.
You're just trying to make us healthier, you son of a bitch.
You see, I don't eat food, so I don't have to worry about digestion, so I'm fine. So this is just a waste of time.
You see, when he's depressed, he fasts. When I'm depressed, I eat.
Yeah.
We're like a yin-yang kind of thing.
Well, no, because like that yin yang is like all about balance. But if you and me, like you just like if we sat on the scale, you would launch me into space. Like that's.
But really, like, isn't it like when
I'll be honest with
it's
you, I hate
great.
this.
really?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's-
Really?
It might just be the flavor though, because the lemon is really grossing me out. I'm not gonna lie.
It's
Oh,
the
that's
ginger for me.
Really?
I
I actually quite like this flavor. Now, I've had flavors that I don't like as much as this, but in general, like, I'll get like one, and I don't drink it all like very much. I'll usually just have a couple sips here and there. But it's the type of thing where I'm sitting and working, and I feel maybe I feel unhealthy because I had like a lot of junk food or something.
Yeah.
It's like walk to my fridge and just take a couple swigs
And you're like,
and like put it back.
and you're like, I'm healthy now.
Yeah. No, there's something about it that just like I feel like, yeah, it's not great, but I like feel good after I
But
sip
do you think
on it.
do you think that how much of that is placebo?
That's also true. It could be mostly placebo. Now I did have. It took me like maybe 3 or 4 cups or like bottles of it before I like started to enjoy it, and now I do actually enjoy it a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird drink, but it's like super trendy right now, so I figure it's good for you guys.
Oh,
to
So
try.
of course you like it.
Yeah. I guess that's what the Wright brothers is about now.
That's what
Just
we're
All a bunch of sellouts.
Yeah. It used to be about the writing, man.
Now it's all about getting that 17th subscriber.
Damn.
All right, well, we got both of our moms. And
Here.
who else's mom can we get? Oh, we can get your mom.
Thomas, that's your mom, you idiot.
Wait, what?
We're the Wright brothers. I don't know who the hell this is. Like, I don't know who
He's
they...
the wrong brother, I'll tell you that.
You and me, we're the Wright brothers. This guy, wrong.
Or maybe I'm the left brother.
So which one of you is right and which one of you is brother?
That was funny. Hi, I'm right, and
Hi, I'm right. I'm brother. We're the
Right-
brother rights. Yeah, let's just not do any writing. Let's just banter for an hour.
Dude, I'd love that.
Yeah, who needs writing on this show?
Let's call it the Talk Brothers.
Let's call it the
brothers.
with 2 brothers.
Let's call it the Bacteria Brothers. I don't know why I'm saying let's, like I'm a part of this. I'm sorry. I'm inserting myself.
No, you practice.
Self-insert fanfiction, I'm sorry.
Dude, I was going through old like songs.
Even the Minecraft fanfictions.
Oh, well, those are everywhere.
Oh yeah, you can find those. But I was going through my old folders last night. I was in like a big mood of like nostalgia,
Yeah.
so I just like started going through like old song demos and stuff. And for a while, like Michael and I were sending back and forth like daily like improv writing, like 10-second clips of like some guitar riff or piano riff or something. And I found all these files that now to me are useful because I can now like loop them and chop them up
Yeah.
and stuff. And so now I'm like utilizing stuff that I made. I mean, this was like, okay, these were like 2016. This one was 2014. Like, yeah, like check this out. I found this yesterday. I had no idea I had it. It was unlabeled. unmarked. Just like
That's a spicy guitar.
just like a solo guitar,
Yeah,
and it's like a full song.
really.
And there's like
It's
some.
kind of sweet, dude.
I feel like I could fish to this.
One last cast, then I promise we'll get married. She
Yeah.
told me it's either her or fishing. Sometimes I still miss her. I just texted me a picture of a turkey, in case you wondered. He just texted me this picture of a turkey.
Oh man!
I don't know why.
He probably just
Wow.
saw it. I was like, oh yeah, my kids were like this.
No, okay, my car broke down on, what was it, Wednesday?
Your car broke down?
My car, yeah. You
The
know,
car
Jeez.
that he
I
just bought.
I just bought this car.
Oh
It broke,
my gosh!
Chris, I had to go pick up Chris at school. On our way, okay, it died in the school parking lot, and this lady jumped me. She mugged me. No,
She jumped me,
and then I
finally
showed
got
up.
my car
Then
started.
I showed up and started up his car for him.
No, but then we got it started, and we were heading home, and then my car, it just stopped accelerating. I just saw the speedometer going down, and I was like, uh-oh. Pulled over into this dirt road. Just called my dad. I was like, Dad, my car broke. And then,
Whoa.
then he rolled up with this, like, instant jump start or whatever. Like, one of those portable
Yeah.
like, car battery things.
Yeah.
And then I just see him slowly pull up the road, and he just stops in the middle of the road. And it's because there's this giant-ass turkey just, like, running around. And there's a bunch of locals, like, coming out to, like, look at the turkey. Because
Oh
that's
my
the
God,
most exciting
yeah.
thing that can
Oh,
happen in
dude,
Ohio.
yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's not here, not there, or not here, not
What did you say?
not in. We don't live in Ohio.
Oh my god. My bad. Say, that's the most interesting thing that can happen in Just censor it.
Muffled sounds from behind.
Muffled screaming. That's the most exciting thing that can happen in
For context, Garrett got his driver's license like a week ago.
a little.
Has it
Yeah,
even been
I think
a week?
I think it was it's exactly a week ago today.
Exactly a week.
See,
And you
he-
got a car. You get a car like right before you.
I got a
license?
car like 3 weeks before I got my license.
Okay.
Yeah.
That one's already dead. So did you get it fixed?
Yeah, a guy came over. It was like the alternator wasn't charging my battery, so he
Oh.
replaced the alternator, but then my car wouldn't. Like my battery just wouldn't charge.
Oh,
So then-
replace the battery then too.
No, because I don't know what he did. It was like he tightened a belt under the alternator because it was like slightly out of position, so it wasn't charging my car. So as of right now, it worked. I haven't driven it
Okay.
because he fixed it today.
Okay.
So I haven't driven it since then.
Gotcha.
So-
Yeah, I've had my alternator die. That died on the. For me, it was on the turnpike.
Oh, Jesus.
Driving home from Massachusetts.
Oh my
so I
god!
did a weekend
Where
trip.
were you?
I did a weekend trip to Massachusetts with Michael and then our other friend, and we drove like 25 hours in like 2 days. And so my car, I took it to the shop beforehand. I made sure like I had fresh brakes and wipers, and like they checked everything and realigned stuff and all that. So I was all set to drive at like 2,500 miles in a weekend. And so we're driving home. I'm on the turnpike. We're like right near Sandusky.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah. It's Sandusky.
right near,
We're right near.
which is like it's like about an hour from here, maybe a little over or something.
Or
And-
from anywhere.
From anywhere,
Could be anywhere. I
yeah.
don't know.
And it is about like midnight, and we've got to like work early the
Damn.
next morning and stuff. And I see the lights, like we're like listening to stuff on the radio, and I see it like flicker on and off. I'm like, that isn't good. So I shut that off, and then I see like the dash lights are like flickering on and off, and then I'm like, this doesn't seem right.
Yeah, Chief, I don't think this looks too good.
So I get off at the next, I take the next exit from the turnpike, and like I have to unroll my window to pay the toll, right? Because it's
Yeah.
like a toll road. So I unroll my window and like hand the lady the ticket, pay the toll, and I'm like driving away, and my window isn't rolling up. I'm like, oh fuck, this isn't good.
Oh,
So-
God. Oh, fuck. Oh, God.
So there's like a Super 8 hotel or motel like right off the exit.
What's so super about it?
I don't know. There's 8 of them.
There's 8 of them in the
8
world.
super motels. So I pull off into that parking lot, and I managed to get my window rolled up. Or no, I shut off my car, and I go to start it, and it doesn't turn back on. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I turn, you know how you can turn your key once, and it'll turn on like the battery and stuff.
Yeah.
I turn that on, and I get the window rolled up, like it like slowly is moving up, because I didn't want to leave my car with the windows unrolled.
Yeah.
So I get the window rolled up, and then I'm like, yeah, this thing is, I don't know what's wrong, but it's dead. So I call AAA, And they're like, yeah, we'll have a tow truck. And so we had it towed to a place in Sandusky. So in the meantime, Michael's like, well, I'll see if any one of my family is like able to come get us. So his sister and her fiance at the time,
they're not fiancés anymore.
Yeah, they're married now, which is good.
Ex-fiancés, current husband and wife.
Yeah, I guess they are ex-fiancés. And they drove to pick us up, but it was like an hour wait, and we were starving.
So
and
you
it was
ate
like
him?
You ate the car?
And it's like 11:45, I think, at this point.
Well, that's way past your bedtime.
Yeah, it is. So we walk into the Super 8 with all of our luggage. And we're like, hey, my car broke down. We're waiting on AAA, and then my friend's sister's gonna pick us up. Can we like leave our bags here and like go get a bite? And they're like, oh yeah, totally. Like, and they were really nice. Like, do you want me to start like a cup of coffee, like a pot of coffee? And we're like, no, that's fine. But they're like, yeah, down the road is a McDonald's. And so like you can totally like run down there, and we'll just like you just leave your stuff in the back here.
We'll just look through your bags real quick.
So
plant a bit of heroin in there.
Yeah, so we're like, this is great. So we go to like walk down the street, but it's like an 8-lane highway.
So you played Frogger.
Yeah, basically. No, since it was so late that there wasn't very much traffic, but there was enough sidewalks. So we're walking through like the grass on this 8-lane highway, like in the middle of nowhere. And there's like, we see a McDonald's like a mile down the road. So we're like booking it over there. And then we get in there and we get our food and stuff. And it's like just before midnight. And then, we eat kind of quickly to head back and stuff. And like right after we walk the door, I see the employee just like lock the door. I'm like, oh, they might be 24 hours, but like their in-house probably closed at midnight. And if we had like walked any slower, it's like we would have had to like walk through the drive-thru, which I don't know if they would have even accepted like people walking through the drive-thru to order food, and then we'd have to carry it back and like eat it at the Super 8
before though. Like people just walking.
I feel like they would let us.
I once had a guy do that to me at a Burger King. Like this guy, I was just sitting in the drive-thru at Burger King, and this guy just walks up and he's like knocking on my window. I'm just like, oh my god, this is it. This is how I die.
This is it.
So I always knew it would be at Burger King. I just thought it would be from heart failure.
So I just cracked my window. I'm just like, yeah. He's like, oh, don't worry, don't be freaked out. I'm not gonna rob you or anything.
I'm just gonna kill you.
He was like, I'm gonna walk next to you and I'm gonna see if it'll take my order because I don't have a car. And I was just like,
just go inside.
No, they closed their in-house.
Oh,
it was like 2:00 in the morning. It was like 2:00 in the morning.
Study your Burger King lore.
Lore.
The first Burger King.
Did they accept his order? Do you know?
I didn't stick around to find out.
I feel like they would have for us, knowing our situation. But
because you're white.
Yeah, exactly. But man, I was like worried, and it was like kind of creepy because it was like late at night, and it was like windy, like it is outside. I don't know if you guys can hear the wind on the recording, but it's certainly a mood.
Can you hear the wind, Mom?
Mom, tell us, can you hear the wind?
Yeah, so that's my alternator story. And then I got that replaced, and it was like a couple $100, and then, or it was like $400, and I was really pissed.
$400 for your alternator gear replaced?
Man, I think so. I forget, but I remember being really pissed because I had just done all this work on the car to make sure it was in good condition, and then the alternator dies. Yeah. And then like a year later, the engine gasket blew.
Was
while
this
I
on
was
your
on
old
the
car or your current car?
This was my old car. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the head gasket.
The good old green bowling ball.
Yeah.
It looked like a bowling ball, Sam.
I guess it kind of
like
did.
the paint job or the shape? Or both?
I guess a little bit of both. Yeah, it was a green CRV.
You had a green spherical car. Cool.
Yeah, it rolled down the... it was just a giant tire.
Yeah, no, it's like
the thing in robots.
I was going to say General
Jimmy Neutron.
Why are we talking about three different things?
Alright, so robots...
Thomas is talking about the thing from Robots. You're talking about Jimmy Neutron's thing. I was saying the little bike that General Grievous has in Star Wars Episode 3.
Oh.
You know the thing I'm talking about? The little
yeah.
That has legs? Sam, your car had legs?
Yeah, that's the one.
That's the one. How can I forget?
I love that we all came up with different things.
We all came up with different, just like weird shaped vehicles. Beautiful.
Yeah, good times, man.
Alright, fine. Sam, edit that out, please.
I'll do that.
You know what? Just scrap this whole thing. And I think that's
You know what? Let's start over.
All right. Yo,
Guys,
what up? It's your boy Tommy D.
Welcome back to the Wright Brothers with your host, Gomus Drake.
Thomas Drake.
Rhombus Drake. I am a walking rhombus. Dude, I don't know what the hell I'm saying anymore.
Rhombus. I don't know why
Rhombus
it's so
Drake.
funny to me.
It's spherical sand.
Rhombus Drake.
That's why I used to drive a bowling ball.
We got
You just went into one of the little holes on top.
And your
dude.
A stick, Garret.
gonorrhea. No.
No.
What,
Gastric bypass, Garret.
No, we got Spherical Sam. We got
Rhombus.
Thomas.
Rhombus Thomas.
And then we got Rhombus Garret.
No.
The genes connect.
I thought you were
I
gonna.
like
I thought you were gonna go
Rhombus.
something with like Garret the Carrot or Garret the Ferret, like every 3-year-old I've ever met in my life.
Garret.
Garret the parrot, huh?
Garret the disappointment. Garret the teen parent. Mom, there's something I have to tell you.
Oh my gosh. This is how you break the news.
I was waiting for the right moment.
And
And we're on the Wright Brothers podcast, so there's no better moment. There's no right or
You
moment.
don't understand how much I want to punch you. I have never felt
Garret,
so much
this-
disdain
this
for a
is like-
person.
yeah,
this is how I am with every single episode.
This is the way you want to tell your mom is by recording
by
it like
being-
3 weeks in advance on a podcast.
She's gonna find out in 3 weeks by listening to my brother and my friend's podcast.
Dude, this takes the stress away because you tell someone you like if you were to do this in this setting where they won't hear it for like 3 weeks, but you're sure they'll hear it.
I know they're gonna hear it. So it's
So
like
you
it's
can
off my
freak
chest.
out. Yeah, it's off your chest now.
So
and you
for
can
3
forget
weeks,
about
I'll
it.
be like living in bliss,
Yeah.
and then
And then
she's
it's all
be
gonna
like-
come crashing down.
Yeah.
and then she's
But then
gonna
you won't
listen
have-
to it and be
Then
like,
you won't have that stress of having to tell them right then, though. That's actually not
so I'll
too
just
bad.
have the stress of the beatings later.
Right.
Good. This
Yes.
is so smart. Why didn't I do this sooner?
Yeah.
The whole
All right, let's
time
find a
is-
prompt.
Oh, it's too
On that
cute.
note,
All right, let's actually do some fucking writing in the Wright Brothers.
like I said, this is called the Talk Brothers.
Will you shut up?
Okay, I'll leave. Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, see you, Garrett.
Is there room under your bed for me?
Oh, dude.
Yeah, Garrett,
Absolutely.
we can fold. Garrett's really easy to just
I'm
fold up
literally a
against.
lawn chair. Like, you don't understand.
Oh no, what I do like to do a lot, I like to fold them up, stick them into small places so we can pop out and say, "Boo, it's great."
My cat gets scared so much.
My cat gets scared like so easily.
It's like ridiculous.
Dude, this one's kind of cool. You've been.
Oh, are you actually
Oh my
on
God, I
Reddit?
hate that one.
Oh yeah. You've been bullied. You've been a bullied outcast your entire
Oh,
life.
so
this
write
is a
what
little
you
too
know.
close to home.
Yeah.
We can't do this one.
No, this will change it. Despite your pure heart and kindness. It's not that simple.
Okay, so never mind.
One day a horrible prank for you goes wrong, leaving you to die. Before your final breath, death appears in white robes and offers you a golden scythe with a name engraved on it. Karma.
Ah,
That's kind of
You can go back and write all those who you've... No, sorry. Wrong all those who you've righted? I don't know.
wrong all those that you've right brothered.
get the fuck out.
That you've rhombused.
You can
I really
you can
like
sphere
rhombus
all of
Thomas.
those that you've rhombused. We should make a new podcast called the Pythagorean something. Like, think of a clever name for it. And
Pythagorean.
you're A squared, he's B squared, I'm C squared. Because both of you, like, combined equal me. Somehow. We'll figure the math out.
Wait. Son?
No, Thomas. I'm your brother, you idiot. Dad, who is this?
What? That's even worse.
Wait, Papa?
Papa.
Papa.
You know that really weird horror movie, Mama?
Yeah.
Let's just recreate it with Sam being like the
Papa.
omnipotent demon, and we just see him and go Papa, and then he just like snaps people's necks that look at us.
I think I know my... I'm scrapping Solemn. This is going to be my first horror movie.
Rhombus Thomas. I don't know why that's so funny.
I really like
It's
that.
literally not funny at
Yeah,
all.
there's no... Apart from just it kind of rhymes. Rhombus
Oh,
Thomas.
dude. Like,
Why are you
Keep
still
this
looking for the
for that.
bacteria?
but look what happens when you, like, shake it up.
Whoa. Look, when you shake it, it flies out of the bottle. Am I supposed to be looking for prompts too, or can I just listen to ones you guys read?
You can do either. If you want to look, you can.
Minimum effort. I'm just gonna listen.
Alright.
I'll go on Reddit on my phone.
Hey, that's not allowed!
I'm a right brother, aren't I?
I
make the rules.
You're like grandfathered into the Wright brothers just because they're an actual...
I'm the right brother now.
I think I have more authority than Sam at this point, honestly.
Yeah, I think he's a bit more of the authority on the subject, Sam. Sorry, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
This one just caught my eye because it said Chinese. You spent decades in a Chinese sweatshop assembling fortune cookies. After remarkable ambition for your duties, you've finally been promoted. Now you're writing the fortunes, and it's time to awaken the sleepers. I don't actually want to do that. It just sounded funny.
Yeah. That's like a good majority of the writing prompts.
Yeah. Vengeful spirit mistakenly haunts the identical twin of their murderer.
This one's just funny. All of the number one dad mugs in the world changed to show the actual rankings of dads.
Oh, here's a good one. You die, and God says, "So, how was heaven?"
What? Wait. Wait, so we're in heaven
We're
right
in
now?
heaven right now.
And then you don't.
And then
You die and go to hell.
Or you die and go to
Heaven.
Earth?
Or you die and join, like you actually live after you die. Wait a second.
Oh, that's fucky.
I feel like that you could go a lot of different... I like that one's vague, because you could go like
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah.
I'll save that one.
Save that one,
Yeah.
because if we can't find one, I kind of want to try that. That sounds fun.
Yeah. Dude, so here's something that I don't know if it's useful at all to us here, but I've been watching Seinfeld. I actually just finished it yesterday. And
Oh, no, you've been watching Seinfeld? I've never heard of this before.
But in the last season...
What is Seinfeld?
Oh my
Tell me.
gosh,
Tell me a little more.
Is that the one with Ross and Rachel on a break?
Yeah, I think so.
How you doing? You know?
Yes.
I love Seinfeld.
Oh, what's our...
I love Seinfriend.
I love How I Met Your Seinfeld.
How I Met Your Seinfriend.
How I Met My Friends. It still hasn't happened.
It's still work in progress, but it'll be great, guys. I promise.
The season finale is going to be a showstopper.
So I've been watching that, and in the last season, there's an episode that it's like famous for being the reverse episode, and so it ends with like them all getting back and like getting back from a trip, and like two of them are like pissed at each other, and the other one's like sick, and the other one's like, I'm going home. Like that was what a bust. So then it jumps back like a day earlier, and they're like in India at a wedding, and then you hear like, you slept with the bride. And then they jump back like a day earlier, and he's like, you remember the bride? Like, yeah, I slept with her 10 years ago when we were in high school or something. And so it just keeps going like back, and then the episode ends like 10 years before the show started. And it's like, hey, I'm the new neighbor. He's like Jerry moves in, and Kramer walks over, and he's like, hey, you're the new tenant here? And like that's where the episode ends, but it's all in reverse. And so they allude to like one of the things that happens at the end is like, a guy throws a snowball at Kramer, and Kramer's like, all right, go ahead. And like the snowball hits him and he runs up. It's like, I'm sorry, man. And he like hugs this guy. And then so like time jumps back and it explains like how all this happened. And the episode is really cool. Like the idea is really cool. So I was thinking like, what if we took a prompt where because there was one prompt that we had read a while ago, and it was something like you're running through the jungle with a pack of cats on your left and like wild boars on your right. Like you're riding on a robot or something. And like that was the prompt. And like what if the writing was actually like going back in time to like get us to this weird setup.
All right.
Like what could lead us to this point. Now, whether or not this is anything useful at all, I thought about trying to write something in that format at some point, because it was a really good episode. Like the premise of it is just wild to do that. Yeah.
I mean, I could totally see us doing something like that at some point.
So, I mean, if there's a prompt that fits it or something, I might try to do that.
Yeah.
But I thought it was interesting, and at least share it with you guys.
You know what?
You gonna sing the baby that
You should be called Toby Thomas.
Yeah, you should be called Garret.
You should be called Jerk Thomas. I was gonna get up and like slam your door, but I'm not comfortable doing that.
Yeah,
I've only been here for like 3 years.
But
This is my apartment, Sam. What are you
Yeah,
doing
can you
here?
get out, please?
I really love the. Hey, Garret.
Now, as you were saying, Chili's baby back rib. Where's the falsetto, Sam? We're just Muppets. Chili's the baby back ribs.
So I had a little bit of.
Who let these buffoons in? Get out of here!
Yeah, get the fuck out of here!
Hey guys, get out of here!
Come on, guys, clear out.
All right, now that it's us three original guys again.
No, it's that. No, I just had a stroke. Now this guy.
Oh, you guys, cut it out!
All right, boys. So while we were gone,
We
another
have.
thing that we did was we figured out the prompt that we want, and it is: you work at an office job, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. On a nightly basis, you have dreams where an older gentleman tells you that you have gods in your fists. Today, you walk past a park where some gang members are messing with a teenager. Usually, you just walk by. Today, your fists vibrate.
Hang on.
Oh yeah, let me know when you're ready. I'm gonna cap off this bucha. Save the rest for later.
Gonna cap that bucha.
Dude, I like this though a lot. But I'm not a huge
It's the ginger that kills it for me.
maybe that's what I like about it. Which is weird because you like ginger ale a lot.
Yeah,
Like you usually drink Verner's here.
yeah, I do.
It's weird, yeah.
Oh yeah, Garrett, do you want to try the bubbly shit?
What bubbly stuff?
This is what we tried last time.
Grapefruit sparkling water. It is kind of like dust.
Don't tell him any. Don't tell him.
Oh, sorry.
anything.
It's not like that at all.
Well, I eat dust anyway, so this sounds like a win for me.
Ooh, we got some sirens.
To make you think.
All right, Garrett, what do you think of the bubbly?
I think it's better than like LaCroix.
What do you drink, Sam?
Yeah, no, I don't like that.
This is whack, bro. Sorry, like, no
No,
offense.
dude, I don't like that stuff.
It tastes like you're drinking.
I know
TV static,
you
right?
bathe in this, but like, no, TV Static is McDonald's Sprite. And I also don't like that this can is telling me, hey, you.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell?
Oh yeah.
And I do have,
Hey, cool, I didn't ask. I specifically remembered not asking.
that's really interesting because I remember not asking you about that.
Oh, that's what he does for anything. You say anything. See,
Did
he's
you
trying to
ask?
do it right now.
Wait,
he's
Sam,
doing the shit right
Sam,
now.
did
Yeah,
you
no,
ask?
because
I
he's
didn't
fucking.
ask.
It's like, yeah, no, he's just being a little piece of
hey,
shit.
camera, or
you know,
Mike, did you ask?
you call it a camera, you dumb fuck.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you should be.
I'm so sorry.
God, you're
to
such a
offend
piece of shit. I hate you.
you. God, I want to punch you in the stomach.
Do it. The bacteria will thank you.
The bacteria will protect me. Dude, this is so bad. I have 2 brain cells left, and this is really ragging on the second one.
And now you get to spend an hour in deep concentration while you write.
I'm literally gonna have 2 sentences.
I
I get so distracted.
So I'm really...
You don't have to make it like a well put together
Yeah,
story.
it doesn't-
You can
Oh,
just-
but I want to.
Yeah, so... no, go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
I wasn't saying
Oh,
anything of
okay,
value.
so- Just to say, because this goes for any other guests that we have.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't...
Okay, sorry.
cracks open a rock star.
Yeah, give me 1 second. Okay, continue.
This doesn't have to, it doesn't have to be put together complete or anything. But are you okay?
Just whacked my ankle against. Dude, I'm a mess. I'm sorry.
Here, drink more Rockstar.
Okay.
I'm so
We're all
interested.
gonna die here.
I'm so interested to see, because I was talking to someone else at work, and she's like, "Oh, I would never be able to actually I don't think I'd ever be able to write something in an hour." And I'm like, "Yeah, but you'd be surprised because I didn't do any really creative writing since high school until our first episode or our first time doing this." And I came up with stuff out of nowhere. When you're on this time crunch, it's weird how you just kind of come up with stuff. So I'm interested to know if you can come up with a whole story, and if you do, how it is.
Because that's the thing. As much as it might sound like I'm joking around and excusing my procrastination, but I push essays and stuff till the last second, because otherwise I will just be sitting looking at a blank document for 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
But when I'm on a time crunch, that's when the ideas flow.
Yeah.
That's when I'm like, bam, bam, bam. C+ material,
That's all right.
Well, that's what we look for here at the Wright Brothers.
No, essays are genuinely the only thing I'm good at. Like, if you had a list of my skills, it would be essays and nothing else.
Oh, well, essays and
Being cute. I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
Drinking
oh,
rock.
God, I hate you.
Drinking Rockstar, and
You're struggling, see?
Destiny. You're playing Destiny.
I'm not even good at Destiny. That's the thing. Little background, I have 3,000 hours in Destiny.
Dude, that blows my mind.
We have 3,000 hours in Destiny 1. 4,000 if you're counting Destiny 2.
Hold on a second.
Do quick math.
How many hours total? 3,000?
3,000 in Destiny 1, around 1,000 in Destiny 2.
Okay. There's only 8,700 hours in a year. So you're like a little less than half a year
Like,
of your life straight.
That's
like
insane.
January to June. Every
I could
minute.
have done so much else. I might not be garbage at guitar if I did. Like,
I might have actually learned to play guitar.
I might have learned to read if I did.
You might have learned to write. We're gonna fix that here today, brother.
All right, time to do a little bit of writing. Just a little.
Or a lot of it.
A lot of it. Okay. You guys ready?
One.
Quick question before you guys start.
Yes.
If
You
it's
guys-
stupid, so help me God.
Alright, I'll just kill myself. Never mind.
What is it?
No, nothing. Do you guys, is it just like literally a straight hour of no one talking, just, or like, do you just like, kind of
Generally-
like, is it just like, if you're writing, I don't know, like, what's the general atmosphere when you're writing, I guess?
So there's usually some casual chit-chat. Usually we'll have bouts of like 10, 15 minutes where we're really focused or something. And then usually like I'll have my phone handy and I'll look at the time and I'll tell him, or he'll say like, hey, how much time do we have left? Or I'll say like, I have a really good idea. And then he'll say like, oh, I know how I'm going to end it now. And we'll like, a little bit here or there. And we've paused it before to like, like get beverages and stuff and like bathroom breaks and stuff. So it's not super like, you cannot say a word.
Words.
It is 9:15 at night.
I was supposed to be in bed 4 hours ago. Okay.
It's
All right.
past my bedtime.
3, 2, 1. Good luck, boys.
So dumb. I hate this so much, but I love it at the same time.
That's just the majority of what being on this show is about.
That's how it goes.
It's loving what you hate and
Yeah.
hating what you love.
Do you want more room on the desk?
No, I'm fine.
Okay. Approach for this?
Oh yeah, this is so stupid. I'm not trying to be serious at all.
All right. What kind of approach did you take?
Well, here's the thing. I can't tell you because like
Okay.
there's kind of a curveball.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine. It's fine. I get you. Just as a heads up, we've got 47 minutes.
Damn, this is done. I'm gonna make this long as hell. I already have a page.
Holy shit, dude!
I've got 3 paragraphs.
I've got 2.
Well, okay,
Alright.
mine's kind of weirdly spaced out, so it's probably not like actually a page, but
Yeah, sure.
It's probably just then they did this, and then they did this, and then they did this.
no, I'm writing like a second grader right now. But,
Dude,
like,
I kind of excited.
It's so stupid.
I think Garrett needs to start.
I kind of want to. No, I feel like it should be a Wright Brothers sandwich. The guest should be in the middle.
Okay, that's fair.
All right, okay.
Because then if it's great, it
'Cause
doesn't
this way,
overshadow us. And if it's terrible,
it's
we can still
terrible-
fix it a little
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, let's ignore him.
Because that way the disappointment isn't like the start of it, or like you don't start off disappointed and you don't end disappointed.
Yeah,
You're
that's
just disappointed in the middle.
That's
All
good.
right.
All right, cool.
Oh, kombucha. That's not good.
Yeah, but
Not a fan.
your gut's gonna love it, man.
Do you think I like my gut?
That's true. I think you do. You encourage it.
Oh, there's a word count. That's nice.
You're welcome. How many words are you at, Thomas?
349.
I'm at 790.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Oh, I wonder how to do word count on this. Hold on.
Yeah, this one is probably gonna be my most just straight up crazy, like suspend your disbelief
Okay.
and just like roll with it.
Okay. Fair enough.
It's not about It's not about the story, it's about the experience.
Okay. Mine, I'm taking more of like a traditional, like there's no crazy...
And also, another fair warning to you listeners, this is probably going to be my most violent story, I think.
No way. More violent than the deer one?
Yeah.
Whoa. Than the teddy bear one?
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, the teddy bear one, I feel like that was cartoony.
That's true, yeah. It didn't feel as visceral.
Yeah.
How many words do you add, dude?
I'm going back through. It's so incomprehensible.
Hey, you got a half hour to edit it down if you want.
I'm at 1,105 words.
Oh my god.
But it's all just...
Are you on... you've had 2 rock stars. Maybe that's
probably
why.
why.
I mean, yeah, that's a lot of... How much caffeine is in...
Serving per...
240 milligrams of caffeine.
In a serving?
Per can.
Per can?
Okay.
So
that's like, I mean, so he's had 2 cans, it's like 500...
Well, this is my second one, and I'm like halfway done.
Okay, so you've probably had like 400 milligrams of caffeine.
How much is that? I don't know what to gauge that against.
A shot of espresso is like 50 to 60-ish. So you've had like... Sorry, I'm really bad at that. Like 8 shots of espresso.
So yeah, you hate your heart.
Well, I hate a lot about me, Tom. I'm gonna cut this off because it's at 1,425 words.
Alright.
Holy crap,
I think that's okay. We'll allow it.
Man, I just wonder what you could have come up with.
It's just a whole bunch of bullshit. That's literally...
I'm so excited to hear this.
I'm at 727 words, right?
What's
your word
count? We have 16 minutes left, and I have
what's your word count, buddy?
859.
Hey,
nice.
I have 7,448.
So you're like, but how many words do you say?
1,425.
So you're almost double the length of mine.
Oh, jeez.
All right, I'm gonna take a little trip to the boys' room.
All
You
right.
guys have fun.
Do you want me to pause it?
No, I'm basically done. I'm just
Okay.
going through and like making grammatical fixes.
Gotcha. Sounds good.
Oh, Jesus. What could it be about? Hey, let's read the story while he's in there.
Dude, no! Don't ruin the integrity of the Wright brothers.
Of the Wright brothers. Oh, ¿dónde está este biblioteca?
Lao Shurha. 请坐.
¿Dónde está?
你叫什么名字?
Por favor.
我叫杜牛.
Sí, por favor.
不好.
Egg roll. Alright, story time.
All right. I finished up with like a minute and a half to
Who's
spare.
going first?
I feel like yours is probably going to be the best.
No.
Yeah.
Mine's the
Well,
worst.
not the best, but probably not the one we want to leave off on. Or I don't know. Do you want to go first? Or?
Do you start on, or do you mean start on, or like
Because
end on?
mine is like crazy violent.
So I feel like we should end on the crazy violent one.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
agree.
So do you want to go first? Or do you
Yeah,
want me to go first?
I can go first then. We'll sandwich you.
Yeah, I just feel bad because I always make you go first. And
Yeah. Oh no, we swap.
All right.
Usually,
Yeah.
we'll swap the next one.
All right.
All right.
Story time,
Here,
boys.
Stromboli.
Stromboli.
Stromboli Sam.
Spherical Stromboli.
There we
Spherical
go.
Stromboli Sam.
All right, please stop.
The creature stood on its hind legs. It resembled a wolf, but was far more demonic, with fur as black as night and sharp fangs that extended 3 feet beneath its lower jaw, ending in a sharp point. It let out a blood-curdling howl. It let out a blood-curdling howl. I smirked and held up my clenched fists. So this is like, there's a space, and now we're at a different point in time. I worked a normal desk job, 9 to 5. It sucked. I just entered numbers into a computer all day. So to spruce up my life a bit, I took up mountain climbing. It was exciting, dangerous, adventurous, just the sort of thing my life needed. I was a pretty shy guy growing up, and I figured this hobby would have the added bonus of making me a little more outgoing and courageous. Oh my gosh.
We're just staring at him intently.
Yeah. I remember the day I decided on my new hobby. I was on my nightly commute home from work as I passed by a park. I saw 3 members of what I'm assuming was some sort of gang surrounding this teenager. I had sympathy for the kid as I watched him get knocked to the ground. It happened to me plenty of times growing up. But I knew there was nothing I could do. I looked away as the gang members rummaged through his bag and left him lying in the dirt. I decided right then and there that something had to change. The next week I was in Colorado learning how to climb mountains. Then it was the Alps, then the Matterhorn, and then Mount Fuji. That's where things get interesting. Now, I don't know if these are like real things that you climb, but they sound like they are. I decided to take a new path. I wanted to explore a place no one had before. Near the summit, I discovered a small opening on the face of the mountain. I climbed inside. There was a small altar, and for a split second, my heart stopped. I thought I saw an old man standing behind it. I blinked and saw nothing, and there was nothing else of interest in the small cave, so I continued climbing. It was that night that the dream started. Since then, I've been having the same dream. In it, I'm visited by an elderly man, and he always tells me that I have gods in my fists. What the hell does that even mean? Gods in my fists? Who knows? But I've had the same dream every night for months on end. I'm on my daily commute again. As I walked by the park, I saw the same 3 gang members from before approaching another teenager. But this time, I wasn't going to let the same thing go down. I clenched my fists as I walked towards the guys. But then something strange happened. My fists began to shake vigorously out of their own accord. I looked down at the fists, back up the 3 guys. They were all facing me. I stopped, and as I did, the faces of the 3 guys began to elongate. Their limbs did the same, their arms curving towards the ground until they were on all fours. Their skin was being replaced with black fur, and long fangs began to form from the corners of their mouths. At this point, they stood over 10 feet tall. My heart was racing, and just as I was thinking, what the hell is going on, I looked down at my fists again. A blinding light shone from my knuckles, and from each hand metal began to materialize. The metal melded with my hands and rippled out from the light, transforming my fists into 2 giant golden scythes. I stared at the scythes and looked up.
I smells gold.
I smell gold.
The 3 creatures were dashing towards me on all fours, and I knew they were out for blood. I looked down again and thought to myself, let's do this, as I ran towards them.
Can I interject real quick?
Oh yeah, dude.
Just like, it's so stupid. It's just, if this tells you anything about how my brain works, you just said the 3 creatures were dashing. Like, I thought you were just saying, like, man, those creatures look so nice. They were dashing. That's where my mind went as soon as you said that. Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
I didn't know what the hell was going on, but I was going to make the most of it.
The most of these dashing creatures.
The creatures came at me one by one, each trying to grab a hold of my wrists with their jaws, but I was quicker. At this point, I spent years building my body strength up for mountain climbing. Plus, I had 2 scythes for hands, so I was well equipped for this fight. I slashed at each of them. One caught me in the left wrist, and as a line of blood began to seep from the bite marks, I swung my scythe around and lopped off the creature's head. As the other 2 saw this, they began to back off, and then I made a run for it. And they made a run for it as I began to chase after them. I knew I wouldn't be fast enough to catch the remaining 2 creatures, so I stood there and watched them as they ran off. I looked down at my scythe hands again, but saw that they had returned to just normal hands. Bummer, those things were pretty cool. Oh well, I'm sure I haven't seen the last of them yet. That night I had a different dream. The old man appeared once again, but this time said, I see you've discovered the use for your fists. They will aid you whenever a demonic entity is present, regardless of the form the entity has taken. Be wary, the demons you are unable to kill today will not take the death of their friend lightly. Good luck. I woke up ready to kick some ass. Unfortunately, I had to go to work, though, so that's where I headed. A meeting was called, storing me from my monotonous work. We have a new team member, Garret, my boss said. Garret, if you need anything, don't hesitate to ask any of us. I looked at Garret and he looked back at me. I saw his mouth curve into the most unnerving smirk imaginable. I got a bad vibe from Garret. At this point, I've been very rushed writing, so the rest is kind of very fast, but that's fine. As I left work, I began to walk home. Garret walked out behind me. It seemed as though we shared the same commute. I turned around to ask him how his first day went, but before I could, my hands began to shake. I quickly clenched my fists and saw 2 swords appear and melded with my hands. That's cool. Looks like they're different every time. I quickly swung the sword, my thoughts were interrupted by a blood-curdling howl from directly behind me. I knew they were back. I quickly swung my sword hands around, catching the creature on the leg.
My sword hands.
This really makes me laugh. It barked and darted toward me, grabbing me by the ankle. It knocked me to the floor and jumped for my face, but as it jumped on me, I stabbed it through the heart. 2 of 3 down. That night I saw the old man again. This time he had some new information for me. What you've become a part of is bigger than you could ever imagine. The third enemy of the trio will certainly be the hardest you've fought this far, but it's only the beginning. Best of luck. I headed back to the park after work, ready for the fight of my life. I was ready. And then at that point, it's supposed to be the intro, and I ran out of time. So,
Sequel.
yeah. So a couple notes about it. Yeah, a couple notes about it. I wanted to do a lot more with like time passing and different demons instead of just wolf-looking things. Yeah. But time crunch was just a little bit too much. And I wanted to have way more details with stuff. And the fights, I don't know how to choreograph fights. I realized I've never really done that before, and yours are like really good. Well, but for me, it was like I just didn't know like what is it bites at my arm. I don't know. Like I cut off his head. I stab it through the heart.
That's crazy. You thought about this? You put thought into what you wrote?
Well, I mean here, because like the thing that I always do when I write my action sequences is just like think of it in your head. What is happening in your head? And it's like, okay, so the creature. You did a really great job with these action sequences, but it's like, nice. So it's like, all right, so the creature bites at me. It's like, okay, write that. It really is just matter just writing what you're.
Yeah,
thinking.
I guess I just need to picture a scene like acting out.
What if nothing's going on in my head? Then what do I do?
The wolf stood there.
The wolf stood. Man, that's a
he
great
looked dashing.
He looked dashing. I wanted to make him mine.
So yeah, I tried to keep the order because like kind of what we talked about, like ending with the beginning. I was like, I want to end it with this cool, crazy thing going on, and then I want to explain how it happened. So obviously, it opens up with like the last of the 3 wolves. Was like I'm about to fight the last of the 3 wolves. Also, I tried to connect this, and I realized later that it didn't make sense. But Jared.
Yeah, I was going to ask who Jared was.
It's just a random name. He's just the new employee that they hired. He was just trying to pretend to be another guy to like sneak up on me at work. Was the idea.
As soon as you said we got a new coworker, I was like, oh, that's really
I mean, why else would I put
predictable.
Yeah, why else would I put that?
Wouldn't it be cool if Jared was just like a regular guy and then your boss was the demon?
Oh, that would have been a good.
That would have been way better. Even
you could switcheroo. But I specifically.
And Jared was your lover.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I specifically added he gave the most unnerving smirk. Because that was supposed to be a reference to the first paragraph, which ends like he let out a blood-curdling howl. I smirked and held up my clenched fist. So it's supposed to be like he smirked at me before,
parallels.
And now I'm gonna smirk at him before I kick his ass. But then I realized, wait, that's a different one because I killed Jared right then.
Why would you kick him when you have sword hands?
Well, I mean, I can probably say yours is probably the best.
I can't wait to sword his ass.
Gross.
It's too late. It's too late for this.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was what I was going with. So I kind of left it on a cliffhanger of like he was ready for the last fight because then it's supposed to be like starting. But yeah, I didn't have enough time to do more than that. But
yeah, I'm probably gonna say right now yours is probably the best put together.
Okay.
Like structure wise, miles ahead of mine. Jesus.
All
right. Who's up? Okay, you're next, Garret.
Garret.
I'm sorry. I awoke as I always do, questioning, wondering, disappointed. I frequent dreams in which the Monopoly man told me I had cods in my fist. What does that even mean? I have fish in my hands? What a stupid idiot old man.
How many words are there?
1,400. I had tried everything to unlock the potential of my fish hands, but to no avail. I couldn't swim at all. I couldn't breathe underwater.
Wait. Did you mishear me, or was this your
this part of it, dude. Give me time.
God, Sam, stop rushing.
Where was I? I couldn't swim. I couldn't breathe underwater, so they were entirely pointless. I wrote this. What if I just wrote this entire thing thinking you said cod hands?
Well, I remembered I read it to you. I showed it to you, I remember now, but at first I read it to you. I'm like, did he just think I said cod?
No. Okay. So they were entirely pointless. I went about my day as usual, feeding Adderall to my cat, pretending to care about my job as a sign spinner for Big Ben's Busty Burgers, buying more Adderall for my cat, and going home to have this same stupid dream. Seeing as I got paid $1.34 an hour, I couldn't afford a car, so I had to make the shameful walk to work every day. This day was different. As I rounded a street corner, I saw some ruffians beating on a chubby kid that I recognized from back in high school. His name was Rhombus or Thomas or something like that. I didn't have much in common with him, except I would help him out of the toilets after he was forcefully shoved in them, and then we talked about Pokemon or something. This by itself wasn't a rare occurrence. I saw Rhombus getting wailed on nearly every day. I normally chose to ignore it. However, as I was blissfully ignoring the assault in broad daylight, my fists began to shake. My vision went away, and I was revisited by the Monopoly Man. Use the power, he said. I had never heard him actually speak until now. My dreams always involved a text bubble coming above his head, like it was a JRPG or something. His voice kind of sounded like Kermit and Mickey Mouse had a love child that was addicted to black tar heroin. What power? I replied somewhat angrily. You've told me about these cods in my fist and nothing's happened. Holy shit, you're stupid. I said gods, not cods. No one talks to me like that. As I prepared the sauciest comeback of all time, my vision faded, and I was reintroduced to the physical beating of Rhombus. My fists were shaking. Is this what the dreams meant? I had gods in my hand? Could I maybe help Rhombus? I approached the bullies. As I stared them down, they turned to look at me. They were visibly confused. I smirked. Jesus. I smirked, raising my right hand towards them. I felt a burning sensation throughout my whole body as it traveled from my feet to my hand, and I let loose a godly burst of power. I closed my eyes and let the sensation carry me into a state of euphoria. My eyes blinked open as I anticipated the glory of my pure, devastating power. All I saw were the bullies, drenched in a red liquid. They then proceeded to beat the living shit out of both Rhombus Thomas and I.
Wait, Rhombus and Thomas are two separate people?
No, Rhombus Thomas, like that's your name. Oh, I mean the character's name.
See you guys.
Thomas, sit your ass down. I trudged home, pissed, and wanting answers. I figured the only way to get answers was to meet with Mr. Monopoly again. I fed my cat his Adderall, and he started walking on the ceiling as he always does. In order to reconnect with Monopoly Boy, I took an empty Rockstar can, cut it in half, and shoved it into my head so that I would pass out from levels.
What the
hell? As my peripheral vision darkened, and I saw my cat doing backflips on the ceiling. That's the part I was laughing at. And I saw my cat doing backflips on the ceiling, I drifted away. As my eyes opened back up, I saw him once again. Mr. Monopoly. Monopoly Man. My homie G Monopoly. He goes by many names. I decided to figure out what the hell was up. Alright, mister, I began. You told me I had gods in my hands, and yet I tried to stick up for my friend Rhombus, and I just covered some guys in Kool-Aid. You want to explain that? Monopoly furrowed his brow. You tried to use your godly powers to beat up mortals? Well, yeah, I reasoned. What else am I supposed to do? He buried his face in his hands before speaking. You do have gods in your hands, but not like cool gods. You have like Dionysus, however the hell you say it. You know, the Greek god of wine? My disappointment was immeasurable, and my day was ruined. I closed my eyes, wanting to return back to my life. This was all hallucination or something, right? ... I awoke back in my room. My cat was licking the blood that had pooled around my head. What a good boy. I wanted to test if these newfound powers, in parentheses or quotations, if you could even call them that, were legit or not. I made a finger gun and pointed it at my cat. A red liquid, presumably wine, shot out of my fingers at Mach speed and made a hole in the side of the cat. I was surprised, but not alarmed. He couldn't feel pain anymore. That's why I used him as a cutting board. My mind began to wander as I searched for a use of these powers. It would be a pretty dope party trick, I guess. I decided to take these talents to the streets. I emerged from the dark and began strutting down the sidewalk. As I walked past pedestrians, I told them to open their mouths so I could show them my sick new talent. All this got me with some weird looks, so I decided I'd stop asking for permission. I saw my friend Rhombus walking down the street. Hey, buddy, I said, as my fingers raised and instinctively formed a gun shape to greet him. You know, like a...
Yeah.
What's up? My mind didn't realize what I was doing until it was too late. The wine shot out of my fingers as fast as I used to run away from my dad when he said it was playtime. I looked down at my hand, and by the time I looked up at Rhombus, he was lying on the ground, dead. I panicked. I didn't know what to do. My hands dropped to my sides, and from them emerged torrents of alcohol, propelling me through the air. With this,
like Iron Man?
Iron Man, yeah. With this newfound power of flight, I got as far away from everything. Rhombus, my apartment, my Adderall-addicted cat, my job, as I could. I ended up in Nevada, where I performed at bars as the Wine Man. I didn't come up with the title, so I don't want to hear it. It was a pretty sweet gig. I was now making $3.54 an hour, but this newfound wealth wasn't enough to clear my mind. A day didn't go by that I didn't think about Rhombus and what I had done, and I wasn't the only one that had forgotten. As I was in the middle of turning a glass of water into wine, I heard distant sirens, and then screeching tires. Before I knew it, the door was kicked in, and the officers were screaming my name. I knew this day would have come eventually, but I wasn't going without a fight. I brought back my fist and unleashed an alcoholic Kamehameha at the officers, instantly incapacitating them. I bolted through the bar, knocking over only the women and children as I ran through it. This was only because the women were bad mothers for bringing the children to a bar, so I had to teach them a lesson. And the children needed to feel real pain for the first time in their lives.
That's so good!
Oh shit, where am I? I escaped through the back door, and as I prepared myself for flight, I hesitated. Is this really what I wanted? To run away forever? No, I'm not a criminal. I turned around and turned myself in. It was an uncomfortable ride with the policeman. He didn't laugh at any of my jokes. However, we drove past the police station. Did you miss your turn? I questioned. The officer didn't respond. We sat in uncomfortable silence until we arrived at our seemingly new destination, a mansion. I had given up all attempts at understanding anything that was going on at this point, until the officer turned around. It was the Monopoly Man.
Oh!
Son, he began, you've caused an awful lot of trouble, but I've seen what you're capable of, and we want your help. An ensemble of superpowered individuals emerged from the mansion, all wearing a uniform, including my Adderall-addicted cat. The Monopoly Man reached into the passenger seat and threw something at me. It was one of the uniforms. Now suit up, Sonny, he commanded. We've got a hell of a fight ahead of us.
Dude.
That's the end.
Dude. That was awesome. Oh my gosh. That was way more coherent than I thought.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it made no sense.
No, that it flowed well, and it was funny as all hell.
It was...
Dude, that was awesome.
My cat was not doing that.
Yeah, that's what I was laughing at. Because I just think a cat being addicted to Adderall is like the funniest thing, and I don't know why.
Dude, wow.
I use my cat as a cutting board.
He doesn't feel pain anymore because of the Adderall.
Wow, man.
That was really good.
I'm really impressed. Yeah, that was awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. See, this is the people that say, like, oh, I don't know, I'll be able to come up with anything good or coherent in an hour. Like, it shocks me, like, how good these things are. That, like,
Yeah.
Glad you enjoyed it.
yeah. Oh, yeah, dude, that was a blast. Oh, my gosh.
The chubby cat named Rhombus.
I wanted to include Rhombus somehow, and I figured the fat kid that gets bullied would fit.
Freaking just the Monopoly Man. Like, it's him.
I said
and
you
like,
had gods, not cods, you fucking moron.
Dude, how funny would it have been if I just wrote the whole thing thinking you just said cods at the beginning? I think that would be so much more entertaining. Alright, I want to hear Thomas's.
yeah, I do too. Rhombus's.
I want to hear Rhombus Thomas's over here.
Yeah, mine is not... It's not very good with the exposition. It's just violent as all hell.
Okay.
Good. We need to balance out because mine was like straight up like a 3-year-old wrote it because he thought it was funny. So we need this.
I need this, Thomas.
I need this, Thomas. You understand?
You can't.
You can't take this from me.
Yes, I can.
What's the line like? You can't tell employees at your party to say sit on my lap. I need this. I need this.
You can't tell your employees. You can't force one of your employees to sit on your lap while saying, I need this, I need this.
Yeah.
Remember the Christmas episode of The Office where Michael wanted to be Santa?
Yeah.
Alright, after you, Thomas. Mr. Rhombus.
Oh, that's gonna stick, isn't it? Ow.
Wait, what is... I'm getting Rhombus confused with Trapezoid.
Rhombus is like the diamond.
Okay, that's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Am I
Yeah.
stupid?
I think that's right. I was thinking Trapezoid.
Trapezoid Thomas.
I'm gonna kill myself. Ow, I said as I looked at my hand. It was a paper cut.
Holy shit, this is violent.
You just passed out.
Oh god.
I wiped the blood off on my pants and walked back to my cubicle. Only one... What is he doing?
I'm just getting a rock star.
He's
don't
getting a third. Is that a third or fourth?
Third. I'm not at fourth yet.
Yet.
I will get there soon enough.
Damn, dude. That's unbelievable. I would never sleep again.
Only one more hour left until it was 5. Then I could leave this fluorescently lit prison.
I thought you said only an hour left until I was 5. Like it's almost your 5th birthday, and you're just like, I'm almost. Okay, I'm sorry.
I felt my head get heavy. Working at a customer service branch for a Roombas was not exactly the end-all be-all of jobs. It had been a slow day. I decided to rest my eyes for a second. God's in your hands! God's in your hands, you silly white boy! Remember when I said this was a little racist?
A little bit, yeah.
Why does that just like reverberate?
Shut up, Thomas. Read your fucking story. Dude, no, not on Sam's carpet.
Mix that with the rock star.
I think I'd rather kill
just
myself.
make a concoction of hell.
If you just pour that in there, the glass will explode, Thomas.
Actually, you know, real quick.
I wonder if that would be good.
Ew, that's like...
I've always said I wanted to do something gross.
Thomas, mixing dirt and shit together doesn't make either of them taste better. Like,
I know.
ew.
Honestly,
For context,
too bad. Oh yeah, for context.
He's pouring the can of what they described as dust into the bacteria water.
Yeah, so we mixed the kombucha with the bubbly from a couple episodes ago, the grapefruit bubbly. I still have some left over. But that's grapefruit and, like, ginger. I don't know, it's more fruit with fruit. I feel like it can't be too bad.
Fuck me, that's actually really good.
Wait, give me a sip.
No
Are you being
way.
sarcastic?
Like, it's actually not that bad. I mean, it's not something like I would actively drink, but like, it's better than.
It's a lot better than either of them alone.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not that bad.
I'm gonna get my kombucha out.
It's very interesting.
That's really bizarre.
No way. It's a champagne glass thing.
Real classy.
I mean, while we're at it.
This is weird, man.
It looks like champagne.
It does. Huh.
It's not terrible.
It's not terrible. I think I like...
Well, yeah, but you're weird. You're homeschooled. That's why you like kombucha.
I definitely like the kombucha better on its own.
Typical spherical sand.
All right, back to
It's not bad. Yeah, okay, sorry.
All right. Oh yeah,
Back
I
to
forgot.
school.
It's the Thomas show.
All right. I awoke from my dream to find my boss standing over me. Sleeping on the job, Leroy? That's how you end up working the weekend. Yes, his name is Leroy. Bite me.
Leroy
Jenkins! Well, guess I couldn't enjoy my weekend anyway. I walked home from work and saw a kid getting bullied by a gang. They always did it, and I did nothing. Guess I was just a coward. I walked into my apartment complex and I heard all the unpleasant sounds. A couple fighting, a kid yelling at his video game. All the great ambience of failure surrounding me.
Ooh, I like that one.
I opened the door to my small studio apartment. It was a mess, just like my life. I flopped down on the couch and opened a bottle of whiskey and began to drown my sorrows away. Bleed the week! I awoke, barfing at my partakings of last night. It was 3 a.m., and I felt like shit. I opened the window and let the fresh morning air fill my lungs. I don't know why, but ever since I was a kid, I heard the voice of an old Chinese man screaming when I wake up. I never felt the need to talk to anyone about it. I always thought I was just weird. I looked down at my hands and saw that my paper cut was already healed. That's another weird thing about me. Injuries on my hands always heal within a day. I don't think about it too much, though. The life of a Roomba consumer service advisor kind of numbed me to any hopes or wonders in my life. I walked out of my apartment. The sun was just beginning to rise. I then heard a voice out of nowhere. A deep, booming voice that I had never heard before. It's time. I then was fueled by a sense of purpose and invigoration. I didn't know what my plan was, but I was angry. I found the kid being bullied by the gang and stormed up to them, my hands vibrating and my blood boiling. I demand you cease your criminal mischief, I said. We all stood in silence. The gang then started laughing. What the fuck did I just say? My ring and middle finger then split in opposite directions, tearing my hand apart. Blood spewed out and slathered the faces of the gang members. It probably should have hurt, but it didn't. Out of the gash in my hands, a tendril with an ethereal glow slithered out.
Ugh.
Oh yeah, you'll be sorry now. I didn't know what this was, but I sure as hell was going to use it. The tendril thrust itself through the chest of a nearest gang member and ripped out his still beating heart.
Jesus.
The rest of the gang screamed in terror. They pulled out their guns and attempted to waste me. My other hand then completely split down the middle, and in the shower of blood formed a skull with razor-sharp teeth, with the blood still rippling throughout the form. The creature said something in Chinese and ate the top half of one of the gang members, sending up another fountain of blood and guts. It then dawned on me that I was killing people, and I had an ethereal tentacle and a monster made of blood coming from my arms. Okay, let's stop now. The monster looked at me, said something in Chinese, and I fell to my knees. My toes then burst out of my shoes. They were growing and turning black. My skin wasn't stretching with them, though. I screamed in pain as my bottom half morphed into that of a black spider.
What?
Police cars then showed up to the scene. They opened fire on me, and the tentacle's ethereal glow formed a shield that blocked all the bullets. The skull then screamed what sounded like a war cry. I'm sorry, I said. My new monstrosity of a body tore through the police force. I'm sorry, I said again.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, just picture throughout what I'm reading, this guy's just saying, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. My monster arm continued to eat and dismember the police force and more bystanders. My tentacle grabbed a car and threw it into a building, causing an explosion that led to more raining of blood and body parts. My tentacle then grabbed the businessman and impaled him on my spider legs and wore him like a shoe. I'm sorry, I said again. I then saw my boss, and my new body parts seemed to know who he was. The tentacle grabbed him and shocked him. The blood monster ate his leg, causing more blood to spill out. As he screamed, the tentacle swimming around in the air, creating a stream of spiral blood. He was then impaled on a light post.
Jesus Christ.
This is really violent.
I think he was dead.
I don't know, though.
I then turned around and saw the military, rolling up with tanks and Blackhawks. The tentacle readied itself, and the blood monster gave a wicked smile. I'm sorry, I said again. The end.
Wow.
Okay, you know what that reminds me of? Like, vividly reminds me of?
What?
Have you ever heard of The Darkness, the game?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, have you ever heard of it?
I don't think so.
It's this first-person shooter, but like, so like, you got like the normal first-person, like the guns like floating in front of you, and then there's these two tendrils that like are alternate attacks basically, and there's these two heads that like eat shit.
Whoa.
And so like, you saying that vividly reminded me of that.
Whoa.
Huh.
So like, I was like,
That's wild.
it was really cool, kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of.
But no, I love the fact that he's just massacring these people with it. He's a monster. He's just massacring them. It's like,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I can't control it.
I'm sorry.
Damn, that was violent.
That was way more violent than I expected.
Yeah.
But hey, well done. Yeah, man, that was good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's like I wanted to go like a little more in depth with the backstory, like. So it's like you just heard a Chinese man yelling at you your entire life and never thought of anything of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how I felt. Because I spent more time on the backstory, but that left, like, no time for the actual story. Yeah. I think the one from tonight is one that I might...
Yeah, I definitely want to hear what
expand
happened after that.
Yeah, I might expand on that.
See, mine was the start of a cinematic universe. Like, mine was the Avengers.
Yeah, you really did, like, set yourself up pretty well in that one.
I want an Adderall cat. What's his name? Catterall?
No,
I think it's Adder Cat.
I think Catterall's good.
It was Catterall. That's what I was going for. Cat. Like I saw my cat doing backflips on the ceiling and I just lost it. I was like, this is so fucking stupid. I love it.
Alright. This might be, I think this is the longest episode.
I think it might be. I mean, let's see. Cutting out an hour. the reading alone took 30 minutes.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's probably going to be over an hour long.
We get a two-parter. Actually, no, that's dumb. Don't do that.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
But I could. Yeah, well, hey, thanks, guys. Thanks, Garret, for joining me.
Thanks, Garret.
Thanks
That
for
was-
having
dude.
me, Sam. Not Bones.
That was so,
Well,
man.
fuck me, I guess.
Man, yeah, that was really fun. Dude, that was...
That was way more fun than I thought I was going to have,
dude,
honestly.
yeah.
Like, I was like, yeah, I'll hang out with Thomas and Sam. I don't know about this writing shit,
Dude.
though.
Yeah.
I love hearing... Because, like, having Bailey on it a couple weeks ago, like, just the cutest, happiest, most pleasant story... And then yours is just like so off the wall. I really feel like the stories people just gravitate towards writing are like one of the like purest forms of their personality as a whole.
That's
Yeah.
actually really interesting.
Isn't that weird? Yeah.
I feel like that could be like a cool, like you, I mean, like obviously, I don't know for sure, but like you preface what that person's kind of like beforehand,
And then
and you see
You see
like
if it
how the
matches up.
stories align up.
Ooh, that's well, because when I did that, because we kind of got you, like the banter with you beforehand.
Yeah,
And
that's
then-
actually really interesting.
Isn't that bizarre? Yeah,
Yeah.
because Thomas's are they're either comedic or
Or
they're like
comedic-
really dark and gritty.
Comedic, dark, or violent as shit.
Yeah, and that's like how you like not how you act, like not
But it's
violent
like
wise, but
it's how like I like
that's how you portray yourself.
yeah.
That like type of
Because
attitude.
like I'm trying to compare your story to your personality, because yours seems like
yeah,
you
Very
had this like
conceptual and artistic.
yeah, like he had this like grand vision of
yeah,
it. He just didn't have the time to fully flesh it out.
yeah.
But like if he had like 2-3 hours to like flesh it out more, like I could
Yeah.
totally see it being like super structured, super like vivid.
Yeah.
Kind of like how he like just the way you are like articulate. It
Yeah.
just seems like it makes
Isn't
sense.
that
That's
really
really
cool.
cool.
So
Like,
Bailey's
word-
was the exact same
His
way
use
with
of the word
hers.
of writhing.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I just find that so fascinating. Like you let people creatively write, and they're gonna write something that is like who they are as a person.
You should rename this podcast the Writhe Brothers.
No.
Okay.
All right, boys.
All right. Well, as per usual, this has been
And
the
the
bomb,
Wright
but the
brothers.
bow. What? This has been
this is
the-
right, bro.
the Wright brothers here. We're here, right?
Chili's baby back ribs.